Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna take you guys with me on a journey of tears,
Mein Gott, warum kann da keine richtige Videos machen?
of sweat,
This is the moment I realized I fucked up.
of success,
Always a failure, never a lesson.
and everything started at this one day when I was 14 and when I had a dream. So, as already mentioned, I had a dream when I was 14, and this dream was to date every YouTuber that I used to watch back then. Now I'm 23 and I don't have this dream anymore, and it never became reality. However, when I was writing my longing fan fictions about YouTubers, they are absolutely great by the way, I always imagined myself in a certain kind of dress. Then when I graduated and for like those dancing party stuff that's happening, I was trying to figure out if I could find this certain dress online. I couldn't. So I just wore black. However, I had this idea that what if I can't find it? Doesn't stop me from wearing it, so it's time for me to make it myself. Before I actually start explaining what I was doing, I just want to let you guys know that I have absolutely no sewing experience. I do own a sewing machine because I was working on another YouTube video where I wanted to sew and the sewing machine of my grandma was shit, so my boyfriend gifted me a sewing machine for Christmas and I kind of figured out how it worked. Then we moved and all my knowledge was gone and suddenly nothing worked anymore, and this is where we started off. But before I could start sewing anyway, I needed to measure myself, like my boobs and other parts of my body, to figure out which size I need to make the dress. Then I needed to draw it all on the fabric and cut it out, which was taking more time than I expected. The fabric was also, by the way, really shit, so don't order the cheapest fabric you can get at Amazon, just a little, I don't know, idea. And then the first drama started because I literally had a very shitty mental breakdown at my very first day, because I always pressure myself too much, and I don't have any clips because I deleted them because I really didn't want you guys to see that, but it was really ugly. It was so ugly that I was crying multiple times. I missed a boyfriend, had to come from his office to rescue me because I was done with life. So I decided to stop the project for some time and continue another time. I also ordered new sewing needles because I had the issue that for some reason the fabric was always getting stuck in the machine, and I don't know if it was because it was too stretchy, it was just normal fabric, so shouldn't have happened, but I don't know, it just never worked out. And when the new sewing needles arrived, it actually worked finally.
So last time I was working on this dress was, I guess, a few weeks ago, because I needed some new yarn. Apparently I used a lot of yarn because I don't know what I'm doing. And it took some time until this arrived. So if I want to get this dress ready for a birthday party, I have exactly 3 days left. And I'm working for 2 of them. Is this realistic? I don't think so. Will I try to make it happen? Sure. Yeah.
And then I was sewing and it worked. And it worked.
This is the moment I realized I fucked up. I put the pretty side against the ugly side, and yeah. Well, I guess I know what's facing my boobs and what's facing the outer world. It's not a complete fuck up, just a slight fuck up.
And I don't know how else I should describe a sewing video, because that's literally all I'm doing. I'm drawing, I'm sewing, I'm rhyming. I should become a musician, but I am not talented enough for that. Yeah, no. But honestly, I started off with a top part, and because I thought this is like the harder part, because I was imagining the skirt to be way easier. Yeah, in the end it turned out true, like the skirt was kind of easier, but we will talk about this later. So first I started off with the top part. I decided to do 2 layers of fabric. As I said, it was the cheapest fabric I could find on Amazon. It was a bit see-through, let's just put it like that. So I needed 2 layers, but with 2 layers it was fine, because otherwise I probably would have run out of fabric and I would have maybe been a bit too lazy to do that too. So, but it all worked. I could sew them together, the back part, the front part. Then I realized that was a bit wrong with my measurements. Like, I kind of forgot that I need a bit of extra space to sew them together, if you guys know what I mean. So I knew I have to leave the space, and I thought I left enough space, but I overestimated myself and my skills in sewing. So I had to do some extra piece, which actually looked really shit in the end. But hey, I made it work somehow. When I was done with this top fabric piece, I realized that it's not gonna work out like that. Like, I need to put a zipper on that, but I also need to probably put a zipper on the skirt. So I already knew that the dream of having the perfect dress was doomed to fail, because it's not gonna be a dress. It's gonna be a skirt and a top. But that was good enough for me, because we're not looking for issues here, we are looking for solutions. And the solution was to just do a zipper on the top and on the bottom part of my not so dressy dress. Since I also don't own an iron for like heating up some stuff, I couldn't iron the top, so I had other ideas. Luckily, we have a very nice carpet. Sorry. Luckily, we have a very nice carpet in the hallway, so I could just put everything below the carpet. I did it with the top and with the back of the top, and I did it with the weird piece that I had to add after that. I just did it with everything, so it's gonna be flat and nice. Unknowing if the carpet would actually work as a iron, I decided to work on the skirt. It worked perfectly fine-ish. Like, I tried to figure out how long I want the skirt to be. I drew it on the fabric. I kind of had to lay down. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of me laying on the fabric trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this, just to, in the end, realize that my hips are a bit wider than my legs. So everything I did was really weird and would have caused the fabric to not be a straight line, but to be too small, you know? Like, I measured it wrong. I'm an idiot. So I decided to trace the outlines of a skirt I own and just do two sides and then sew them together. But since I already lost a little bit of fabric because I was dumb, I couldn't do two layers, but thank God it wasn't necessary for the skirt, at least I think so. So this all worked actually quite fine. I was really pleased how the skirt turned out. In the end, I sewed the zipper on by hand because I don't know if you can do this with a sewing machine. I think you can, but I think you need to be like extra careful. And since I'm not the most patient person ever and not the most experienced person ever, I just really didn't want to screw up with the sewing machine and either screw up the dress or screw up the machine by hitting the zipper with a needle or something like this.
I just realized it probably would have been easier if I just hot glued it on. Whatever, I'm doing all professional Taylor mode, but not Taylor Swift. Like a flicker fade, destroy what you create. I wonder why it always seems the same.
After I did the zipper, I was really happy. I eventually figured out I made some mistakes there, but this is also another story that we just forget about in this video. No, for real, the zipper is, on the one side it's perfect, but on the other side I just did it wrong, I guess, because it's already dissolving, because the fabric is dissolving. The only thing that was missing in the end was the tulle. What is tulle in English? I guess I need to Google that. Tulle. That does sound wrong too. Whatever, I will just call it tulle now, because Google tells me. The only thing that was missing for the skirt to match the dress of my dreams was the tulle, because I don't want a pink skirt. I am not like the other girls. I wear black. No kidding. I just wanted it to look more exciting, and that was basically the part that I was looking forward and fearing the most, because this is what either makes or breaks my project and makes me look like a princess or not. Yeah, well, I maybe should have ordered more tulle, because in the end it was just not the way I imagined it. I cannot say I hate it. I wanted the pink to be still visible through the tulle, but I also wanted it to be a bit more puffy and just more princess-like, if that makes any sense. For working with the tulle, I decided for the best that I will just get a piece of black fabric and get the tulle on it, and then later sew it onto the skirt, so I don't have the pressure of making everything perfect on the skirt and can, you know, like if you stitch it on the, or if you sew it on the skirt immediately, I was scared I would like sew the skirt shut or something like this, so I need to focus way more on this. But so I could just only focus on the tulle. So I swear, in my head this makes sense. And that's what I did. And then I decided the tulle was way too long, so I want to sew it again to make it shorter and to make it a bit more, yeah, so it's 2 layers and maybe look a bit puffier and more princessy, but in the end it didn't really match this expectation that I had. I wanted it to be way more puffier and more princess-like and everything, but it was kind of, yeah, I just ordered too little tulle and it's all my fault. So if I would do this project again, I would definitely order more fabric, everything more. More is more when it comes to dresses, especially when you are as inexperienced as me. Then I made sure to sew the tulle piece to the skirt to finish off the skirt and try it on.
Always a failure, never a lesson. I fucked up. Yeah, I did this. Wait a second. Pew pew. I don't know. I had to cut it here because otherwise I would not be able to fit in my skirt because I'm too fat. And now I need to think if I want some button here to make it less ugly, because obviously when I cut it I didn't cut straight and this is all very shitty looking. And after all, I'm not happy with how this here looks. I'm not happy with the length of everything. It's not looking like it was in my dreams. No clue how I'm gonna fix that.
The last part was to finish the top because I flattened it. It actually surprisingly worked. And then I had to sew them all together, which worked as well, surprisingly okay. Could I have done it better if I had more experience? Probably. But I was surprisingly okay with everything. I was happy that it fit me because I was scared it would still not fit, even though I already made this ugly in-between part. And yeah, I was actually surprised how that worked. Then there was only one thing that was missing to make the little strings that are holding the top, because otherwise it was looking quite boring. Since I already figured out I'm too dumb to make proper holders for my top or anything, because I tried to make them, but I was a bit too dumb to turn them inside out, even though I watched the YouTube video, but it just didn't work. So I definitely have to work on this. I decided I just braid some of the fabric I had left together so it looks a bit cute, and so it's kind of working. I eventually hand sewed them on the top because, again, I'm not taking any risks if I don't have to. I think the higher risk is hand sewing anyway, because the sewing machine is probably way better than me, but still, I want it to be, I don't know what I wanted to be actually. I also had some more leftover fabric, so I decided to make a little bow out of it to sew it on front of the dress, of the top, so it doesn't look so pink and a bit more exciting. It did give me more of a Play by Bunny vibe, to be honest. I guess we are just all not getting what we want today. After working on the dress for a bit over a month, because I had to wait for the sewing needles to arrive and to motivate myself because of all the setbacks I had, I decided that it was time for the grand reveal. That's fucking creepy. Can I do something? Ah!